What's up, you guys? How is everyone? Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to talk about potty training because I have recently potty trained my daughter. She is almost 2.5, so she's been potty trained now for a couple months. We started potty training like the end of March and like the last week of March, and then by April she was totally potty trained. It took less than 1 week, so like thought around day like 5 she had it. She was good to go. She was telling me that she had to go potty and everything was good. So I thought I would share with you some of the must-haves and some of the like tips and tricks and basically just what I did to make potty training as smooth as possible. And I really don't feel like it was super hard. I know a lot of people really dread potty training and just think like it's going to be just a nightmare and stressful and everything. And honestly, like, I mean, I know every child's different and all that, but it really wasn't that difficult. And I did take advantage of the fact that we were home the whole time during the potty training for us. So that does really help. I would recommend that you stay home for like the duration of time that you're potty training, especially when you first introduce it to them, because they need to go like right away. So I'm going to kind of get into all the how-tos and, like I said, tips and tricks at the second part of this video. So first I'm going to show you everything that you need and tell you basically like all the things that I feel are like must-haves. Obviously you can add more things or swap out things, etc. So here we go. First thing that I like continued to use while potty training was wipes. We have always used water wipes. I love these because they are very gentle on the skin and they are mostly water. I think they're 99.9% water. So like you could use these on their hands, their face, anywhere. So I love these. Like I said, we've used these since Nova was born, and I still use these to this day. It just makes obviously cleanup much easier, and it's kind of self-explanatory, but I still did use these. Now, of course, you don't have to use these. If you want to use toilet paper instead, it'll work just as fine, and I'm sure you will have just as much success. So next thing that you're going to definitely need though, and this is not something that you're really going to be able to swap out, are pull-ups. So you don't necessarily need these. Like, we don't use these throughout the day, but we do use them at nap time and bedtime. Obviously, she's still really small, and so she doesn't have full control of her bladder yet. So, but with that said, most of the time during naps and a lot of times like throughout the night, when she gets up, I take her straight to the toilet and she's dry. So sometimes, it's wet, but it's really, really rare. So I don't think that we'll be using pull-ups for very long, but at first, just as like a little security thing, I do recommend these for sure. And then like I said, it's just for like security. I'll get into like more details of each of these items later for like why and how to's and all that. But these are just like what you need. I also did buy these training underwear. So these are just basically kid underwear, but they are, I don't know if you'll be able to see, like that they're thicker kind of through the whole middle area, so that if they do have an accident with these on, they're like thicker. So it'll try to, like, the idea is that it'll prevent so much pee on the floor, basically. So they do help. Obviously, they don't hold everything. You will still have an accident that you need to clean up, but it is better than like a diaper. Once they see like, whoa, like I just peed and it's on the floor, it's on them, everything, then they kind of start getting the point, So these are definitely a must-have. And then last couple of things that you'll need This is a stool, so you'll need this for them to get up to the sink to wash their hands. And then we use this like little potty seat insert. So you just set this on the toilet seat, and obviously it just makes it smaller so they can't fall through. You don't have to have this right away. This is something that you can use later on when they transition to the big toilet, which is what we did. And then the only thing that I am not going to be able to show you is the actual little like mini potty that we use to potty train with, because I have it in the back of my car. Yes, you heard me right. I have a little potty in the back of my car. I will explain more about that later, but it's very important to have that back there. So the only other thing that you're going to need besides the things I showed you, in my opinion, is some type of reward. For Nova, we used M&Ms. So I would give her like 2 or 3 M&Ms when she would go to the bathroom, and perfect. You want to give your child something that they will work for. Otherwise, it's kind of like, oh, cool. Like, I'm not really into that. So whatever. Nova loves M&Ms. So honestly, I don't feel like it's a bad thing to give them some type of reward that they will work for. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure that's everything that you'll need. Now, a couple other things that are like optional or that you can add to if you feel that you need them. One would be like books or movies or videos, something like that, to show them potty training, to introduce it to them, to like illustrate, all that stuff. I didn't do that with Nova. I didn't have to, honestly, I didn't really feel like I had to do that. Like, she already kind of understood the concept of going to the bathroom. She basically got it, you know, right away. She didn't have to, I didn't buy books. I didn't have her like watch a lot of videos on it or anything like that. So, but you can do that totally. And then some people do like charts, kind of like a reward chart, where every time they go to the bathroom, they get like a sticker. They put it on the little chart. I didn't do that either. This strictly what I did. I'm gonna explain the whole thing, and that is literally all I did. So first things first is I like got all the things I needed. After I had all the things I needed and I was like, okay, we're ready, we're gonna start, we're gonna go for this, I would just first started her off by trying to sit on the potty, because at first she did not want to sit on it long enough to go to the bathroom on the little potty that I got her. So I would sit her on it and then give her 1 M&M and like just have her sit there. She didn't potty on it at first. She didn't, that was it. I just want her to sit on it, because at first, like I said, she was wanting, it has like a little flush, and I'll link it below so you guys can check it out and get the same one if you want. It has like a little flush sound thing on there, and it looks exactly like a regular toilet, which she thought was so cool. And it's pink, so, and she likes pink stuff, so perfect. You want to get them something that they're interested in. If they're interested in a character or princesses or whatever, look for something like that. Another good thing is take them with you when you buy these things and have them pick these things out with you. Kind of get them involved, get them excited about it, and that will really help. Oh, hello. One thing I didn't show that you're going to need too are kid underwear. These are just regular underwear. So these I got, and I'm going to show them to you again in a haul, but I will pull these out. And so these obviously are new. Kid underwear, which these actually look really big. The ones I got her are much smaller, and the ones she has right now are character underwear. So they have Anna and Elsa on them, and again, whatever they're into and they like, I would try to go for those things, because they will be like, oh, that's cool, like I want to wear those, you know. So try to, like I said, get them excited, get them things that they like. That really, really helps. Okay, so I got the stuff. So I would give her 1 M&M to have her like just sit there. Once she got the hang of sitting there, I would, like, after every nap, every time she woke up in the morning, right before bed, I would take her and put her on the potty. And for like a couple, I would say like the first half of the day, the first like couple times that I took her to sit her on the potty like repetitively, she didn't go. And then I was like, okay, well, we're just gonna keep trying to put her on there and put her on there and put her on there until eventually she goes. And then I'm gonna make a big deal about it, you know, just to show her like, yes, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. Like, good job. And that's another thing. Some people say like, don't reward like them going potty. I do not agree with that, because logically in my mind, why would kids do things? Why would anybody do something without some type of benefit? No adult is going to go to work for the entire week and not receive a paycheck at the end of the week. You know, how many people would show up for work if they knew they were not getting paid? So it's kind of like the same thing with kids. Like, if they are not going to be told like, good job, and get a reward and be like celebrated, kind of like, as far as, wow, that was a good achievement, like you did a good job, you're going to have a lot harder time, in my opinion, getting them to cooperate and want to do it. So to each his own. You're going to have to be the judge of that one, as far as like what you feel comfortable with, and whatever you decide is fine, you know? So once she did go on the potty, like I said, I made a big deal about it. And a lot of people say, don't do that either. Don't like clap and be like, good job, good girl, like whatever. And I did. And even still to this day, it's the cutest thing, because when Nova goes potty, she'll be like, oh, potty, yay. And she'll clap for herself. What is wrong with that? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. So she just still knows she's doing a good job. Do I still give her M&Ms when she goes potty? No, I don't. As soon as she regularly got the routine of going potty on the toilet, then I would just like slowly just not give her M&Ms. If she asked me like, oh, M, that's what she calls them, M's, then I would give it to her. If she didn't ask me for it, then off we go. I would tell her, good job, good girl, clap for her, yay, the whole thing. Moving on. So then after a while of that, and like a lot of people say that getting them to go potty on the toilet is super easy, while getting them to go number 2 on the toilet is not so easy. And honestly, like, I realized that that is a common thing, because I've heard that several times. For Nova, it wasn't. I think that partially because we used that little toilet, she just went on number 2 on her little potty, her little toilet. So try that. You know, I definitely think that that's good. But at the same time, when they first like have to go poop on their little toilet, they're kind of like, what is going on? Like, you could tell, like, I could tell she was like, I don't really know what's going on here. Like, it's just, I don't know even how to explain it, but you could just tell their little wheels are turning, and they're like, what is going on? So one time she went number 2, and then she thought she was done. So she jumped up, and she was just standing in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden realized, like, I need to go again, you know? And so she started to poop, and then she had like an accident on the bathroom floor, which is fine. When they have an accident, do not make a big deal about it. Just be like, uh-oh, oops, you know? And clean it up, moving on. If you shame them and you like make a big old deal about it and you freak out, they're gonna freak out. There's gonna be tears. It's gonna be just like, oh my God. And then that's when I've heard that kids will do weird things, like pee in a corner or a closet or places that they're not supposed to. That's kind of sneaky, so that they don't get in trouble for it or yelled at or embarrassed about it or whatever. So definitely keep that in mind. And, you know, I honestly think that if you just are consistent, another thing is do not start potty training and then be like, oh, this is not the time, they're not getting it, whatever, like, I'm gonna give up, we're just not gonna do this right now. Try not to do that if you can. I mean, if you really realize like, okay, my child is totally not ready for this, then don't like push it, because I feel like that's when they pull back and they're like, no, I am not doing this. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I'm over it. I'm done. So if you know that, then if you know that they're not ready, then stop. And don't make a big deal about it. Again, like, don't be like, oh, well, you're not ready for this, and you're not doing what I'm telling you to do, or you just keep having accidents or whatever. Like, don't be like that. But just stop doing it. Put a diaper back on him. Moving on, not a big deal. And like I said, if you feel like they're ready, like they're showing signs of being ready, but they're just kind of like not really wanting to, then keep going. They will, all of a sudden it will click and they'll be like, boom, I got it. I'm doing it, But I do think that it is the parents' responsibility to encourage them, obviously, and make it fun. Make it a big deal. Make them feel good when they do good, and then they'll do good. So, aside from that, like, I really hope it is easy. If you guys have any questions about potty training or anything like that, I'm more than happy to answer questions about, like anything further that I did, or if I had any troubleshooting, anything like that. Like, I didn't really have, honestly, it was fairly easy. Of course, she had accidents. Of course, it was not always smooth sailing. Of course, sometimes, like, you take them to the potty and then, like, they didn't go, but then you walk 5 steps from the potty and oops, they have an accident. That's all to be expected. So I do not want anybody thinking like, well, she just, her daughter just got it. Like, it was just so easy. There were definitely hard times, but you just have to keep in mind that they are little, they're learning, and they will get it. Like, I promise you. Oh, okay. So let me tell you really quick about why I have a potty in the back of my car. Basically the same thing as I'm saying, because they're so little and they're still learning and stuff, and they cannot hold it for very long. So if I am driving across town running errands, if I'm in a drive-through, if we're like 10 minutes from home, anything like that, I will pull over and I will get Nova out of her car seat and have her sit on that little potty in the back of the car and go potty. Because otherwise, you're going to have an accident. Some people say that you can put like a puppy pad in, like line their car seat with a puppy pad and do all that. And you can, if that's easier for you, by all means, go for it. It's a great idea. For me, I just don't want to do that every time. I don't want to have all these puppy pads all over the place. I don't want to mess with it, basically. And I don't really want her to be having accidents basically in the car, and then that becomes like a regular routine. So you really have to be like intentional on the like underlying message that you're sending when you're doing things. So for me, like I said, I want her to still be in the routine, even though we're out and about and whatever. Like, you still need to tell me that you need to go to the bathroom, and you still need to go on the toilet, on a toilet of some kind. I do not want her having accidents and like sitting in that, even if it's for 5 minutes. It's gross and uncomfortable. So like, I just don't want to create bad habits. So that's why I do keep that little potty in the back of my car, and like I have an SUV, so I have it like in the back part of it. And it is seriously, if you have a car big enough to do that, even this little potty is one that I bought first because I really liked how it was so compact, because this is the stool and this is the little potty seat, but it goes together. It clips together like this, and it makes a little toilet. And then it has like obviously the little insert. You don't just go like inside here. It has this like little kind of bowl thing that fits right in here, and then you just take that part out and dump it. So even if you can get something really compact and small like this and put it in your trunk of like even a regular car, I suggest doing that, because you can have wipes in your car. And what's really cool about this one is because this whole seat comes off, you can put wipies in here, toilet paper in there, little trash bags, whatever it is that you need, for like disposing of the stuff, whatever, you know. So I definitely think that's a good idea. And like I said, it's just so much more comfortable for them. It's so convenient for you, because the last thing that you want to have happen is you're right in the middle of errands, or you're, like I said, stuck in a drive-through line or something. And like, I'm by myself a lot with Nova, so I don't have someone to be like, okay, pull the car through the drive-through and I'm going to take her into the bathroom. Plus, the last thing I want to be doing is taking her into a public restroom. So if I can avoid that, I do at all costs, even for myself. I don't want to use that bathroom. It's so gross. So, you know, I think those are the best. That's the best way to go. And it has saved us many times. It happens a lot of times where we pull into somewhere and then she tells me, Mama potty, Mama potty. And I'm like, oh, thank God I have her little toilet back there. I'm like, okay, just 1 second, you know, pull in there, park, get her out, put her on her little potty. She goes, she's happy. It still builds the confidence. She still feels like she's doing good. I just really encourage that. So, like I said, I really, really hope this helps, because I know that potty training is like dreaded for a lot of parents. And, you know, another thing too is that if your child is not ready to potty train at 2 years old, and they're not potty trained by 2.5 or whatever, like, let them kind of guide you. That's like the best way that you can do it. If they are really not into it, they don't, you know, they're not. So some of the signs, really quick before I cut this off, is some of the signs that they are ready is that they follow you to the bathroom. Like, they are interested in the toilet and what you're doing in the bathroom. The reason I got Nova a toilet with a little flush sound effect is because she loves to flush the toilet. She thinks that it's like the coolest thing. And they can tell you when they're wet, or they want to pull their diaper off when they are wet. What else? Obviously, age is a good indicator. Like, if they can verbally tell you stuff like that. I've heard that, like, when they start lining toys up or stacking toys or something, and I don't know really what that has to do with potty training, but maybe not, I don't know. But I just feel like once you kind of see that, like, they could totally do that, and you kind of, you know, you're a parent, you're their parent, you know them, then I would go for it. And like I said, at first it might seem like, oh, I think I jumped the gun on this, but keep going. It will happen, and then you're over the hump, you know? So, all right. Well, I hope this helped. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave it below. I'm more than happy to answer anything that you want to ask. Or if you have any additional advice, something that I didn't do or I didn't mention, but it was really successful in your potty training journey, then please leave it below for other people to see, because that's one thing I think is so cool, is that we can all kind of like put our, you know, a little bit of input and our experiences in, and then some people might take a few things that I said and a few things that they saw in the comments, a few things from their friend over here, and then that's what made their success story. So stay tuned. Next, I'm doing a haul, so I'm so excited for that, and that's coming up next. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Bye.